All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to this, shall we? Speaking of projects, as we did a little bit earlier, that have been announced and we've been waiting years to find out anything about, there's that little Armor Wars project. Now, it's already gone through a major change. You guys remember they first announced Armor Wars, and it was going to be a series. And then came what I considered to be the good news, that they had changed their minds and they were going to make it into a movie, which was great. Unfortunately, then came Secret Invasion, which maybe be the reason why this entire thing has been thrown off and is now technically on hold. This comes from CBR, who write the following. Rumor, Armor Wars paused after Secret Invasion backlash, but it's not dead yet. It appears Armor Wars won't fire its way in front of cameras anytime soon. A new report reveals the maligned Marvel Cinematic Universe series that set up its events, Secret Invasion, has delayed the long gestating film. According to Hollywood scooper Daniel Richtman, who is quite often right, sometimes wrong, Armor Wars is on hold and not canceled, despite rumors suggesting otherwise. The insider claims one major reason for Armor Wars' delay is the negative backlash received by Secret Invasion, the lowest rated MCU Disney Plus show ever. Because of how poorly received Secret Invasion was by the critics and audiences, Armor Wars is being reworked with the story expected to focus on entirely different things now than originally planned. Now, I often won't quote the Twitter rumors that these things come from. However, in this one instance, I just by coincidence, I happen to know somebody who's a little bit connected to this thing. And I asked, is this true? And they said, yeah, pretty much what's out there right now is true. The project's been on hold. We don't know when it's going to get going. You guys might remember that some time ago, an interview was done with Don Cheadle about the project. And he basically said, this was, I think, just back in November or October. And he said, I have no idea what's going on with this thing. And now we know why. They made that really strange decision in Secret Invasion that, Rhodey was body snatched.
Roll the whole time?
Yeah, but they never really told us how long. Mm-hmm. Was he in there for a few days? Was he in there for years? All that kind of stuff. But it's just that everybody has rejected this thing. And by the way, Chris, I still don't believe we will ever see Kira again, nor should we.
No.
It seems like Secret Invasion really did derail Armor Wars, which is too bad because I thought the best setup for Armor Wars was the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. When, what's the character's name? Sharon Carter?
Oh, yes. The niece.
The niece or whatever. Mm-hmm. When she comes, it turns out she's the weapons. I can't remember the name they gave the character. She comes out of there and she's like making calls. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have access to this power broker. Yeah, and it turns out she's a power broker. I'm gonna have access to
the deal maker.
Mm-hmm. That's your setup for Armor Wars, right? So, and listen, Don Cheadle is simply one of my favorite guys out there. So I'm kind of bummed to hear about this, but it tracks. Yeah. What do you think about this? Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Kikoff. January always feels like recovery mode, doesn't it? I mean, after all the holiday fun and let's be honest, all the holiday spending, it can feel like a credit hangover. But don't worry, I've got the perfect solution to help you bounce back in 2025. Kikoff, the #1 credit building app in the App Store. Kikoff is a total game changer if you're looking to start building or improving your credit. Their plans? They start at just $5 a month. No credit check, no hidden fees, and no interest. Everybody's been there, guys. Trying to navigate credit can feel like a maze, but Kikoff makes it easy. You can sign up in minutes on your phone and be instantly set up with a credit line designed specifically for building credit, not for spending. And here's a fun fact. If your credit's under 600, you could jump around 28 points in your first month. It's that simple. Shake off the credit hangover and look forward to brighter credit with Kikoff. Get your first month for just $1 at getkikoff.com/Campea today. That's getkikoff, KIKOFF.com/Campea. Must sign up via kikoff.com/Campea to activate offer. Offer applies to new customers first month only. Subject to approval. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions may apply. Points out based on Equifax VantageScore 3.0 changes for Kikoff users starting under 600 who made their first on-time payment between January 2021 and March 2024. Payment and credit activity outside of Kikoff can have an impact on your credit. Individual results may vary.
I gotta be completely honest, you guys. I forgot about this being a thing. Completely, just full stop. I was like, oh yeah, he was supposed to get his own. Oops. I did not particularly enjoy the twist, like so many other people, right, of him having been body snatched, especially with the kind of implication of him having got around the time of his injury. That really throws a kink into things. I feel like there's hope for restoring a great storyline here. You've got so much material. You have years and years of comics to work for. You've got so many writers at your disposal. I feel like you do just have to move away from that Skrull body snatching thing and try to find a way to almost retcon it or make it so it isn't he's been missing in action this whole time, because I feel like that's the disingenuous part of that character. Obviously it's actual treachery, but I feel like you can't have him lead a show and a bunch of his big iconic moments now were somebody else doing them.
Depending on how long they say he'd been in there.
I did like the idea of him not knowing that Tony was dead. I found that to be incredibly devastating.
Which gives you some hint about how long he's been in there. Yeah.
That I think is something interesting to explore, and I feel like that's intriguing. But if so many of his big heroic moments now were performed by the Skrull who was wearing his skin essentially, I feel like that's a weird jumping off point to have him have his own bit of the franchise. Hey
Rob, there's two different ways of looking at this. On the one hand, I think it's important, as the MCU I still feel is kind of struggling to find its identity right now post Endgame, and having one of the quasi OGs like Rhodey still around, I think is important. At the same time, everybody would love to just walk away and forget all about Secret Invasion, what happened there. I don't know. What's your takeaway from this story?
Well, I'd read early scripts for Secret Invasion, and it turned out to be that Moon Knight turned out to be the most disappointing MCU shows for me. I was so angry with Secret Invasion when it was over. I'm like, it could have been great.
This is one of the situations where the script was better than the product they ended up making.
I don't, and like you said, I thought, the whole Rhodey situation, the whole thing was a mess to me. It could have been, it had a great sci-fi concept. I thought was irresistible, and I thought the execution was not good. So it doesn't surprise me. Here's my problem with Armor Wars. It seems small. Like, I know it comes out of the comics, but I mean, dealing with Stark tech as an idea could be interesting, but that should be like an ongoing runner through all the different kinds of Marvel shows, because, we've got all different kinds of technology. I guess Brave New World deals with adamantium. They're going to bring adamantium into the Marvel universe. And so without Tony Stark and Stark technology being such a big part of the world, I would think that they should make more of it. And Armor Wars, I mean, just starting like, there's a bunch of people that have Stark tech, let's have a war, or whatever they were going to do, seems, who cares?
Well, especially since it seems like the MCU is now saturated with Stark tech.
Right, it's
everybody has an Iron Man suit now.
Right.
Even the Dora Milaje have Iron Man suits now.
Yes, 100%. And I guess the Dora Milaje helped build Sam Wilson's new Captain America suit. That's all.
That's right. Yeah.
That's Wakandan tech too. Like, it's all weird. Like, I just don't think this makes for a really compelling story. I mean, why don't they give the Thunderbolts Stark tech? Everybody can have one. You get an Iron Man suit. You get an Iron Man suit. You get an Iron Man suit.
Yeah. Now they are saying in here that they've had to, because of the events of Secret Invasion. So the rumor goes that
because of the viewership of Secret Invasion.
Well, yeah. That they're going back and kind of redoing the whole idea about what the story of Armor Wars is. Look, I still think it's important to have a project focused around Rhodey. I think there's just too many benefits to that to give up on, but clearly they had to pivot. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? A bunch of you have been writing in the last number of months saying whatever happened to Armor Wars, now we might kind of know what it is. Apparently it's on hold, but not canceled. They're still going to try to take a go at it. Whatever you guys think about this, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts.